This is what you're going to learn in Toastmasters. And another part that if you listen to people talking, when you ask them a question, they're going to start with, and then answer the question because they need another second or two to come up with what they're going to talk. So they're buying time. But instead of that, instead of doing a sound, if you can simply train yourself to breathe, because the breathing will actually buy you the another 1 or 2 seconds instead of doing and then you can answer. So every time you're answering, before you answer, just take a breath and it will help you.
Yeah. Is it Steve Jobs that was one of the big founders of Apple?
Yes, he was.
I think I saw a video of him at a university. Somebody asked him a good question, and he paused for what felt like 2 minutes straight. I'm not sure if it was actually 2 minutes, but it felt like a long time. And I remember thinking about this and as you're talking about filling it with silence, that's what he did. He filled it with silence. And the truth is, I believe from watching this video, it looked like everybody got closer and closer and closer. As he had that silence, we all wanted to know what he was about to say. And it really, really helped. I think if he said, let me think. Well, if he was filling all these filler words, we wouldn't have listened in. We wouldn't have leaned in. We would have ignored it. We would have said, hey, I don't care what this guy's about to say. I thought that was a good example of what you're sharing.
I think in general, the pause has a lot of traction, not just in filler words. Like think about a joke. If you're saying a joke and you're not waiting for people to engage and you continue talking, that you lost this moment. If you're asking a question, and it's a difficult question, for example, especially in sales, and somebody is not answering and you don't want to wait and you continue talking, you lose this moment. There's a lot of ways how we can use pauses to our advantage in a communication in general. It's a very powerful tool.
Yeah. It's all very, very good stuff. Is there anything else about being nervous about having a podcast or recording your next episode that we didn't touch on that you might want to share before we go to our next topic?
Since there's many different topics, but we don't have time to go and talk on all of them, I don't want to go to technology. I do want to say that we have a lot of recording applications that can help you to understand your voice and your filler words as well. So not always asking friends and family, not always going to practitioners. You can literally record yourself on the script, YouTube, your phone, and understand, not YouTube, what you can do with there. So right at home, it's became much easier to start a podcast because you don't need to assemble 55 tools, 2-3 tools, even one tool may be enough for you to start.
Great. So far, we've learned a lot of cool stuff in this episode about if you're not feeling completely comfortable to have your podcast or to do that next episode, to do that next recording. There were many tips that we discussed. We talked about the extreme sport podcast that he started for fun. He started to learn. He started to just get his feet wet. We talked about fear and excitement being very similar, just like love and hate. Talked about the first time a kid goes down a slide, they feel fear. And then they just want to keep going and going and going. We talked about CPUs or computer brains. We talked about box breathing. I think that was 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out, 4 counts hold, or 5 seconds, or maybe you could do 6 seconds. So 5, 5, 5, 5. And now we're going to talk a little bit about, and we talked about filler words, filler phrases, pauses, how to get over that, how to ask your friends, your family to not be afraid to have your podcast.